Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So this video really is a quick preview for Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Avni Yildirim. This fight goes down on the 27th of February and it goes down at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Canelo Alvarez's WBA and WBC super middleweight titles will be on the line in this fight, and of course, for better or worse, Avni Yildirim is the WBC mandatory. So yeah, this really is just a quick preview for this fight, not a prediction video because let's be honest, we all know what's going to happen here. But yeah, going into this fight, Canelo Alvarez, a massive favourite, 4-weight world champion, far more proven than Avni Yildirim, and all round, as we know, just a far superior fighter in every department compared to Avni Yildirim. I'll put it like this, if Avni Yildirim somehow manages to pull this one off, to me it's up there with Mike Tyson getting knocked out by Buster Douglas way back when. I just don't think Avni Yildirim has a chance in this fight. Stylistically, Canelo is going to look extremely good in this fight. Canelo always looks good against basic pressure fighters, and that's exactly what Avni Yildirim is. How I would describe Avni Yildirim is a poor man's version of Arthur Abraham. He kind of fights in a similar style. He comes forwards behind that high guard. He'll try and fire that hard jab in, close the distance and basically work. He'll fight in bursts. He's relatively heavy-handed, but he's extremely basic. Like I said, he's like a poor man's version of Arthur Abraham, basically. And you know, he really offers little in regards to dynamism, offensive variety, speed, athletic ability. You know, he really doesn't do anything special. And yeah, stylistically, he's made to make Canelo look great. And Canelo will look great in this fight. As Avni Yildirim marauders forwards, he's going to get taken apart. His defense is going to get opened up. Canelo will take advantage of Avni Yildirim's basic come forward style. He'll switch from body to head, land hard counters, and ultimately he's going to destroy Avni Yildirim in a few rounds. I would say Yildirim won't see it past the 5th round. I expect Canelo to get him out of there super quick, you know. I've just not seen anything from Avni Yildirim, let alone to give him a chance of winning, but even to give him a chance of making this relatively competitive, I just don't see it. Avni Yildirim to date has had 2 step-up fights. One against Chris Eubank Jr., who we know himself is extremely flawed, and in that fight Avni Yildirim got taken apart and knocked out in the 3rd round. And the other fight was a shot Anthony Dirrell, and that fight was controversial, don't get me wrong, it was close, the ending was very unfortunate, but again, that was a shot Dirrell, and Dirrell was competing on even terms with Avni Yildirim. That goes to show what level Yildirim is. He's a basic European level pressure fighter. I mean, this is a guy who struggled with a 46-year-old Lalenga Mock, who David Haye knocked out, what, 20 years ago. This is the level of Avni Yildirim. But going into this fight, you know, he is what he is. He's a pressure fighter. Any advice I would give him, he needs to have that guard super tight, extremely tight. He needs to be active with the jab coming forwards. We saw Golovkin's jab in both Canelo fights, whether it be from distance or as Golovkin was coming forwards. The jab was always giving Canelo problems, and Yildirim's jab is half decent. It's a very one-dimensional jab, it's like a power jab, and he doesn't really do much else with it, but, you know, Yildirim needs to be super active with a jab. He needs to be extremely tight and compact coming forwards, you know, not only protecting his head, but hunching over, digging those elbows into his body to protect his body. He needs to try and make himself a small, compact target for Canelo as he's coming forwards. Needs to really commit to that jab, use it a lot, and primarily try and pick up points with that jab. Stay compact, stay tight, and rinse and repeat that jab. And when you have to, try and throw a few combinations here and there, a few flurries, to try and keep Canelo honest, but don't go too gung-ho with the offense because Canelo is just going to light this guy up and take him out. So for me, if Yildirim has any chance, which he don't, he just needs to shell up, be extremely compact, and rinse and repeat that jab, and only throw sort of combinations and power shots when he has to. I think he needs to box this fight off the jab. But yeah, it's hard to give Avni Yildirim advice in this fight because ultimately he is just levels and levels below Canelo Alvarez in terms of ability, speed, power, experience, everything. You know, Yildirim is levels below Canelo. So listen, he will be brave. You know, he comes to fight, but in terms of quality, Yildirim really doesn't have anything to trouble Canelo Alvarez. He just doesn't, as far as I'm concerned. I just see a basic European level pressure fighter there, and Canelo is going to look extremely good in dismantling this guy. You know, Canelo just needs to be Canelo, do his thing, and the win will come. The only thing for Canelo in this fight, he needs to get rid of Avni Yildirim relatively early. Of course, Eubank Jr. got him out of there in 3 rounds. He can't really afford to let Avni Yildirim hang around. Everybody hates this fight. Nobody gives Yildirim a chance. So basically, all Canelo's job is to win and look good doing it. That's all his job is. And I think he will do, to be honest. I think he will do. But yeah, one of those fights. Nobody really cares for it. In fact, the fight I'm really looking forward to most on this card is on the undercard. And that fight is between Julio Cesar Martinez and McWilliams Arroyo. That should be a really, really fun fight on the undercard. Actually looking forward to that one. We might do a preview video for that fight as well. That one's definitely worth watching. But yeah, Canelo versus Yildirim, it is what it is. It's a mismatch. Canelo's going to win. His only real job here is to look good doing it. And I think he will do, to be honest with you. I think he will do. I think, like I say, Yildirim to me is just a very friendly style for Canelo to look great against. And I see him having no success whatsoever in this bout. But yeah, that's all I can really say on this fight, to be honest. Just a quick little preview, not a prediction because, like I say, this fight is easy to call. But if I were to say, I'd probably say Canelo in rounds 3 to 5 by knockout. But yeah, share your thoughts below. What do you make of this fight? Are you like everybody else that I've heard from and just believe that this fight is a pure mismatch? Or do you believe actually that Avni Yildirim can have a few moments of success in this fight? Share your thoughts below. It's been your guy Del Boy. Peace.